San Francisco, August 1st, 2025. A federal courtroom and a jury that's about to say something no jury has ever said out loud. 12 ordinary people file back in. The foreperson stands. And the finding they read into the record is this. Meta, Facebook, the company, one of the largest on Earth, captured women's communications with a period tracking app. In real time, the way you'd tap a phone line, not received, not got sent, captured, like a wiretap. The data in question, the date of a woman's last period, the length of her cycle, whether she was trying to get pregnant. Millions of women typed those things into an app because they trusted it, because that's the whole point of the app. And the whole time, a chunk of code they never saw, never installed, never agreed to, was listening. Here's the part that should make your stomach drop, and we'll get there. The app that let this happen had promised, in writing, that it would never do exactly this. This is the story of Flow, Meta, and the quiet machinery that turns your body into an ad. Go back to 2016. Flow is a menstrual and fertility tracking app, and on paper it's genuinely useful. You tell it when your period started, it learns your rhythm, it tells you when you're fertile, warns you when something's off, walks you through a pregnancy day by day. To do any of that, it needs you to be honest, brutally honest. You tell Flow things you might not tell your doctor, your partner, or your mother. That intimacy isn't a side effect of the product. That intimacy is the product. And Flow knew it. Its privacy policy, the one live between 2017 and 2019, said in plain language that it would not share
information regarding your marked cycles, pregnancy symptoms, notes.
It named the exact categories. It promised third parties couldn't use your data for anything except running the app. Read that promise again, because it matters. They didn't hedge. They pointed at the most sensitive data a person could give them and said,
"This stays here."
It did not stay there. Here's how the trick works, and it's boring, which is what makes it dangerous. An SDK is a software development kit, a little bundle of someone else's code that app makers drop into their own app to save time. Analytics, crash reports, ad tools. Flow embedded a bunch of them, from Google, from Flurry's cousins, and from Meta. That code isn't a passenger, it's a passenger with a radio. Meta's version used something called custom app events. Every time a Flow user answered a prompt about her body, Meta's embedded code logged it as a neat, named little event and shipped it back to Meta's servers. And the names weren't vague, they were clinical. Enter your last period date, and the app fired off an event literally called r-select last period date. Enter your cycle length, r-select cycle length. Sit with that for a second. This isn't, she looked at some baby products, maybe she's pregnant. This is the time-stamped, labeled, machine-readable reproductive data of millions of women sorted into fields with names on them, flowing straight into the same system that decides which ads you see. Between November 2016 and February 2019, that pipeline just ran, quietly, in the background, while the privacy policy sat there promising it wasn't happening. The Federal Trade Commission got there before the class action lawyers did. In 2021, the FTC settled with Flow, finding the company had handed users' health data to third parties while telling those users it wouldn't, and finding that at least Facebook used that data for its own purposes. Flow signed a consent order, get real consent before sharing health data, submit to independent privacy audits, clean it up. If you were Flow, you probably thought that was the ending. A settlement, a slap, some new privacy pages, move on. It was the opening act. The class action landed in the Northern District of California. Frasco versus Flow Health. On the defense side of the table, Flow, Google, Flurry, and Meta. May 2025, the judge certifies 2 classes, everyone in the US who put period or pregnancy data into Flow during those years, and a separate California subclass because California's privacy laws bite harder and pay double. Now watch the room empty out. Flurry goes first. March 2025, $3.5 million done. Flow settles during the trial itself. $8 million, plus a promise to slap a big privacy notice on its website for a year. In its statement, Flow says the allegations were
Baseless.
And there was
a lack of evidence to substantiate these claims.
Which is a bold thing to say while writing a check. Then Google. August 2025. $48 million. The biggest single payout of the whole thing, gone in one filing. Added up, $59.5 million on the table from 3 defendants who looked at the evidence and decided they'd rather pay than let a jury see it. One defendant looked at the same evidence and said,
We'll take our chances.
Meta stayed. Meta's defense was, in a word, distance. It argued the SDK was just a passive catcher's mitt. Flow collected the data, Meta only received it secondhand. And a recipient, the argument goes, is not a wiretap. A Meta spokesperson put it flatly. The claims are
Simply false.
Meta doesn't want health data, and its own rules forbid developers from sending it. The plaintiffs had a different frame, an older one, the California Invasion of Privacy Act, a wiretapping law written for telephones, long before anyone carried a computer in their pocket. It bans intercepting a confidential communication without consent. Their theory, when you type into an app, you're communicating with it. And Meta's code sat inside that conversation, grabbing the words as they were spoken. The judge, James Donato, was no pushover for either side. He killed off the plaintiff's shakier claims from the bench.
Virtually no evidence.
He said,
Probably zero evidence.
but the core theory held. The jury deliberated, and on August 1st, they came back unanimous. Meta was liable. They found Meta,
captured user communications with the Flow Health app in real time.
and they found that capturing one party's side of the conversation was enough. Meta's whole, we were just standing there defense, dead. Meta's response,
We vigorously disagree with this outcome and are exploring all legal options.
Meta didn't go quietly. It filed everything. A motion for the judge to override the jury. A motion for a whole new trial. A motion to blow up the California class entirely. In September, Donato denied all of it, and he wasn't gentle about it. The trial record, he wrote,
Amply supported the conclusion that Meta was directly acquiring the content of the user's communications with the Flow app in real time.
Meta's attempt to unwind the class he called
Rank speculation that is completely untethered to the evidence admitted at trial.
and on the verdict,
Nothing in the evidence adduced at trial or the record as a whole justifies disturbing the California class or the jury's unanimous verdict.
then came the number that made everyone stop typing. California's privacy law hands out damages per violation. Multiply a per violation penalty by a multi-year class of potentially millions of people, and the exposure climbs into the billions. Reuters said billions. Bloomberg reported Meta was scrambling to.
Dodge billions in damages.
Meta appealed to the Ninth Circuit. That fight will run for years. Now pull the camera all the way back, because the lawsuit is almost the least interesting part. Flow launched in a country where an unwanted pregnancy was, at worst, a private problem. The verdict landed in a different country. After Dobbs, abortion is a crime in a growing list of states, and the evidence in those cases doesn't have to be a confession. It can be a search history, a location ping, a gap in your cycle log. Think about what Flow was collecting: the date your period stopped, whether you were trying to conceive, and then 1 month, nothing. To a prosecutor in the wrong state, that isn't health data, that's a timeline. A miscarriage and an abortion can look identical in a spreadsheet, and a spreadsheet doesn't know the difference, but it'll testify anyway. So this was never really about ad targeting, even though ad targeting is where it started. It's about the fact that the most private facts of your body were quietly turned into a product, sold to the largest advertising machine ever built, and stored somewhere you can't reach and can't delete, all while an app promised you it wasn't happening. And here's the part I keep coming back to. The women who used Flow did everything right. They read the privacy policy. It made them a promise. The promise was a lie, and the lie was profitable. And it took a jury of 12 strangers years later to say so out loud. The uncomfortable question isn't whether Flow betrayed its users. A jury settled that. The question is, how many apps on your phone right now are running the exact same code, making the exact same promise, and betting that nobody's ever going to read the event names? Go check what you've been telling them. They already know.